I know we at the beginning of summer. It ain't no more getting ready for summer. We here now. Like summer is here. So all you bad bodies, I ain't talking about the good ones. I'm talking about the bad bodies. And I can put myself in there. I got a little pudge, okay? I'm gonna do a solid for you guys today. I've been wanting to get a health and wellness individual on the show, and man, I got Mr. Results himself. What's one of the biggest myths individuals come into the gym with?
They want to put on muscle and cut up at the same time.
Okay, talk to me.
Either you gotta cut the fat down first and then build up muscle, but you're not doing both at the same time.
So is that what that mean when they say I'm in my bulking phase right now?
In their bogus phase, I would say they're in their lazy phase because they're giving themselves to eat crazy calories. I went in my bogus phase, but now I'm doing 90 minutes of cardio when I could just maintain and do less cardio because it's all about balance and maintaining. The bogus stage is giving yourself an excuse to put on more calories. People don't realize for those shows too is like cheat meals is eating Chipotle. That's a cheat meal in the bodybuilding world. Everybody think that's healthy. Or a cheat meal is going to a restaurant and getting a plain steak. That's a cheat meal.
What is the most rewarding part of transforming other clients' life?
And I just like when they reach their goals, or when they feeling good, or they're like, hey, Kelvin, I got that blood pressure medicine. Hey, Kelvin, man, I can't believe I climbed that mountain. Like, whatever it's something they just didn't think they would be able to do, that's the report card right there. I'm coming to work. I'm happy because I know I'm about to change lives. I'm about to motivate people. Being able to help people achieve goals like this to a level is just a blessing.
It ain't just working out. You got to become something to be able to push through in the gym, but
Right.
you got to become something to push through in life.
Everybody's going to take their losses. Everybody's going to have their trials and errors. It's not going to be a perfect path.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a perfect time. The time is now when you feel like it's the time. Waiting for the perfect time of the moment, it sometimes just don't happen. You just got to just get started. Let's say you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I'm blessed and excited to be doing something. I'm happy because I know I'm about to change lives. I'm about to motivate people. That's why I tell people I'm trying to be a Chick-fil-A personal trainer. I want everybody to have a good experience. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing. You go to Chick-fil-A, you're going to have a good experience. No matter what Chick-fil-A you're going to go to, you're going to have a good experience with me and my team is what my goal is.
Oh,
right?
man, I love it. You said you're going to be Chick-fil-A, a personal trainer. Hey, what's going on, friends and family? This is your boy Kendrick, and welcome to another episode of Talks with Ken. This is the place where motivation lives, inspiration thrives, and personal growth resides. Before we get into today's conversation with our guest, yes, we have a guest today. I want to make sure we are handling house business. And what is that house business? I need you to go ahead and click that subscribe link, share this video to those who can grow this community so that we can live in purpose on purpose. Okay. So go ahead and click that link. Click that link. And without further ado, let's get right into it. I know we at the beginning of summer. It ain't no more getting ready for summer. We here now. Like summer is here. So all you bad bodies, I ain't talking about the good ones. I'm talking about the bad bodies. And I can put myself in there. I got a little pudge. Okay. I'm gonna do a solid for you guys today. I've been wanting to get a health and wellness individual on the show, and man, I got Mr. Results himself on the show. And we gonna have a little fun with this one because I want to do my part, not only helping you guys mentally but physically. And I'm gonna let this gentleman get more into it as we get through our Q&A portion of the show. But I want you guys to be well in every facet of your life, not just mentally reading books, but I want you guys to be able to be out there in the yard playing with your kids or being able to help your older parents, okay? So without further ado, I want to introduce my guest today, Mr. Kelvin Nesbitt. Mr. Results, how you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this. It sounds phenomenal. I feel blessed to be a part of it. I feel like it's a blessing to be able to share the information I got. Just feel real good about being a part of this movement, a real great positive movement.
Yes, sir, man. Thanks for those kind words, man. I appreciate it. It's been something that's been brewing for a little bit, and I've been on this journey for myself solo for a while. And I was like, man, you know what? There are a lot of wonderful individuals around this community that I think not only want to shine light on it, but I want them to be able to shine light to some dark corners to everybody who's sitting on the stool to do nothing. And so, no, with that, I want to thank you for coming on to the show. And let's get the viewers what we want. Let's give them what they want. So who is Mr. Kelvin Nesbitt?
Mr. Kelvin Nesbitt, Mr. Results, is a person that's just passionate about fitness, his family, creating positive energy and health for my family, my community, or anybody that's inside my circle. I think it's a blessing You know what I mean? I think this type of energy is a positive manifestation for God.
Talk to me.
So I just really appreciate the energy, the opportunity to be able to do some of these things. And I think this was my blessing. This was, you know what I mean? I never knew it, but I just feel like this was what I was meant to do. I'm just blessed to be doing something that I actually love and
Oof.
that I was meant to do.
Ooh. Man, Kelvin, how did you get into that health and wellness? Like, how did you get into the whole fitness journey of yourself?
So the funny thing is, I actually got into fitness because when I was in school, you know how you have these, in sports, you know what I mean? You have this, I want to dream, I want to be good in sports, you know what I mean? So I wasn't the fastest athletic, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
I wasn't never the fastest. I was never to shoot the best or, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. But what I did figure out, I know how to train these people. I know how to work out for these different type of sports. So then they were telling me, they like, man, you should be a trainer. But at that time, I was in, my knucklehead stage, which could probably be another one. But
Go ahead.
yeah, it could be another one, which is another story I like to share to you with you one day too. But for then, I was like, okay, it's sort of planting the seed. I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Because like I aspired to play basketball, football. Of course, I'm 5'8", you know what I mean? Not saying there's limitations, but you know what I mean? That just wasn't what it was. And my dad tried to tell me so many words indirectly. My dad tried to get me to play tennis, you know what I mean? Which I wish I would have gotten into. So that's a fun fact. Yeah, my dad, yeah, he started me young when I was like 7, made me go to this tennis court, hit the ball, but I want to do contact. I want to play football or basketball. He's like, well, you keep the tennis racket in your hand, so, I said it could take you a long way. But like I said, I wanted to play sports, whatever. He still supported me, whatever. But I just learned that I was good at helping people, get in shape. I was good with fitness for some reason. So that's how
Wow.
I end up actually getting in fitness. And then I like the high of actually helping people. And then like that's like the imagination part about it, you know what I mean? Because you could be creative. There's so many different ways to be creative in fitness. And then now, as I matured longer, I learned that with fitness, it's different levels. Now, I think it's my blessing that I can train somebody from 8 to 80 because, like, I can be with them and then learn what level they're at and then help them achieve their fitness goal. So I think that's a real good blessing in itself because I don't think everybody could, actually do that.
See, I think you hit on something. With you having that understanding about your own personal experience, is that what aided you in wanting to help others because you had to help yourself at one point?
Right. And then a lot of people struggle with fitness. And I think a lot of times people struggle with fitness because like they don't know how to get started. So a lot of times, you know what I mean, they don't know how to ask for help or they seeking for help, you know what I mean? They're just trying to find somebody that's got credibility or they can build trust and so forth as far as like their help. So yeah.
And going back to what you said previously too, when you were younger, you wanted to play the football and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but
I
you,
thought I was going to NFL, the NBA. I watched Michael
as
Jordan. I
most
believe I can
individuals
fly.
want
You
to.
know what I mean? But I came in that Steve Davis era. He's yeah, so he's a different type of monster. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean. I ran track. I wanted to run 100 meters, but I was on the 400-meter hurdles. You know what I mean? So it's just
So
that I had to. Yeah.
you did have some athletic
Yeah, some
ability.
aspect, but I wanted to be, anytime what they say, nobody celebrates second place. You know what I mean? Everybody's competing for first. So, if I can be first, you know what I mean? Nobody remembers somebody in second place. Everybody goes to get first. So I wanted to be first wherever I did. So that's why I like fitness. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm first level as far as like my personality, my motivation. I feel like I'm first status as far as like training. I feel like I get a total package. I get an energy, I get a mental support, and I
Yeah.
give the push.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes Mr. Results different from anybody. And I tell everybody it's only one me in the whole world. You know what I mean? Only one me,
I
only one
love it.
Mr. Results. Yeah. And I'm
Let's
Mr.
do it.
Results because everybody gets results. Everybody. If y'all get that.
I love it.
Everybody.
Now let's talk about your one gym, right?
Right.
It's the one gym. Am I saying
But
that right?
but so it's one-on-one fitness, but I have a private part that's called the One Gym.
Okay.
So yeah.
Talk to me. How does that
Yeah,
work?
so one-on-one fitness is what I had now for been blessed to have 17 years now. So what that is like I noticed in personal training when I worked at other gyms, most gyms it's a numbers game, like the Planet Fitness, and I don't mean to say any names, but the Planet Fitness, the Goals
Yeah.
gyms,
Yeah.
the Crunches, all that kind. It's a numbers game, but people needed help with their goals. So I seen at that time it was a void for people getting one-on-one attention. So that's what I ventured into. I went into the private personal training because like people that wouldn't necessarily go to the bigger gyms, they'll come to my smaller location to do personal training because they felt more comfortable, less intimidated. So that's my thing. I want people to feel comfortable because, like, most time people want to go to the gym, but it's the intimidating factor because you see all the
Uh-huh.
people that have been doing stuff or you don't know what to do. So
Correct.
That's why I came up with one-on-one fitness. So that way the name, it says it's one-on-one. It's me, you one-on-one. I'm gonna teach you, help you with your lifestyle. I'm gonna help you with your training. I'm gonna help you with your mind state. And the important thing is I'm gonna help you tailor to your lifestyle. So that's what makes one-on-one fitness different and everything because like everybody lives different. I could work out 6 or 7 days a week. I might have a professional, he might only work out 2 or 3 days a week. So I'm able to meet them at what level they actually at. And I think that's the key why I've been able to be successful and blessed because like anybody that comes in the door, I try to understand their structure because like fitness is supposed to fit seamlessly into your lifestyle. So a
Yeah.
lot of times people try to do too much at one time. So then they get burnt out as far as those elements. So I think the accountability factor and then that, and just like I said, I'm 52 years young. So I've been doing this before Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and all that kind of stuff. I've been doing this for a long time. So just people can understand the resume. And I got
Yeah.
over 55 victories in bodybuilding. So I'm not new to this. This is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. And that's why I just love what I do.
Man, look, and if y'all, I know you guys out there in radio world are gonna hear him, but I would tell y'all to tap in to YouTube or wherever you're gonna watch this at, and you'll see that he really ain't new to this. He true to it, just by his physique. And right now, are you currently located in your facility right now at the time of this interview, or?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I could pan it around if you wanted to see something. I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to see something.
Look, no, look, I ain't gonna make you
Oh,
do it. I
okay.
want to focus on you
Okay.
right now, but
Okay.
like
All
I
right.
said,
Yeah.
he's true to it.
Yeah.
But then,
That's where
like,
I'm at. That's why I live, sleep, and breathe that. You know what I mean? Fitness is my passion.
he
They
loves
say
it,
if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So
man. Kelvin, I
I'm,
love it.
you know what I mean? I'm blessed and excited to be doing something. I don't have, you know what I mean? I'm coming to work. I'm upset. I'm happy because I know I'm about to change lives. I'm about to motivate people. And I think just being able to help people achieve goals like this to a level is just a blessing. So that's like a daily blessing. You know what I mean? And I try to tell people, some people wish they could run. Some people wish they could get up. You know what I mean? So the things that you can do, just embrace it, whatever level you at. Because it's that same person that's wish they could do exactly what you do. And that's
You
what
are
fitness is. It's mental as well as physical. So it's just achieving those mental goals as well.
look. So when a new one, when a newbie comes off the street,
Right.
when the 1v1, the one-on-one offering that you have, what does that look like the first day when they sit down with Kelvin? Like, what does that look like? Do they? Because a lot of people just want to, they want to get the muscles today.
Yeah,
What does
nah,
it
it
look
ain't gonna
like when they
happen.
come
I
off the
tell them ain't
street?
no secret sauce. Ain't no secret sauce, you know what I mean? And try to tell them that from the beginning. But first I try to understand what they struggle at, what they're looking to accomplish, and I try to make their goals realistic. You know what I mean? Because like, I got somebody that might come in and say they want to lose 80 pounds by yesterday. We know they ain't realistic. You know what I mean? So the thing about me is when people meet me, I'm gonna give them a genuine, truthful answer and what's gonna be able to they're gonna be able to achieve with their goals. So I kind of just like fill them out, fill out what their motivation is, why they doing it. For everybody, why is different. Some people they just want to just be in better shape. Some people want to chase their kids around. Some people tired of going to work, tired. You know what I mean? They're looking for more energy. Some people looking to
Yeah.
get healthier. Some people looking to compete. You know what I mean? So fitness is people have different goals. So I think that's the key thing. So I try to get them to nail down a goal, first of all, because you got to have something to aim at. So that way we got a target. And then once we get that target, I show them how to take bites or aim at that target to chip it down. And I let them
Why?
know ain't no secret sauce because with the fitness thing, it's always three key components. You got cardio, nutrition, and strength training. I tell everybody when you take a bath, you're gonna use clean water, clean soap, and clean clothes. You ain't gonna get in that shower and not touch that soap. So when you eat that food, you know what I mean, you hit that soap in the shower. So you need all three components for your healthy lifestyle. People try to make it out a big secret. It's just you do those three things and you're gonna be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life.
Man. So you look at you look at each new individual's personal goals, what they
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lifestyle that they live, and then you craft out a workout regimen or a plan.
Yeah,
What
exactly. And
about
then
dietary? Do you sit down and go,
dietary, so what I do is I do opposite everybody. I try to find out what's the healthy foods they like. Because that's gonna be how you're gonna success. Because if I tell somebody eat tilapia, you don't eat fish, now I don't get anywhere. So you know what I'm saying? So what I do is yeah, you know what I mean? You're not gonna get anywhere. You know what I mean? They got good intentions, but if they ain't doing, you know what I mean, they ain't the foods they ain't gonna like, they're not gonna do it. You got some people, and I'm picking myself, you know what I mean, that can eat anything, and then some people they ain't gonna do it. So I feel like that's already setting them up for failure if you ain't able to work on they foods. Cause you gotta control, you know what I mean? That's what's happening. You gotta control what's going on in the fork. That's 80% of it. You know what I mean? One way or another.
yeah.
The fork. You are what you eat. So
Oh boy. Some people, y'all need to push away from that table. I know y'all want
Yeah,
that
push
fried
away, yeah.
chicken and yams, but you gotta.
And you ain't gotta starve yourself, you know what I mean? I always tell people to eat 3 or 4 small meals if you can. I believe in fasting if you wanna fast, but I just think with the fast, you wanna live your lifestyle. If you're gonna fast for the rest of your life, it could be good, but I think just eating normal, your 3 to 4 meals a day, you can sustain and still lose weight and build on muscle and all that good positive stuff that you need for your healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. Look, I will say this. Me personally, I'm telling on you people. I'm telling myself. But I went from I'm only 5'9", so
Right,
I'm not much taller than you.
right.
So I'm only 5'9", and I went from 2'5" down to 157.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, "Man, I look like skinny boy toss." So I
Yeah,
had to gain some weight, and so now I'm holding steady around like 182. But I did that with that intermittent fasting, so I had that
right,
16-hour fasting
right,
window or whatnot,
right, yeah.
and but I found it hard to gain muscle. I leaned up
Yeah, because 'cause you're
really
cutting your
good.
calories. Because you need, not to cut you off, for to build muscle, you need almost a pound and a half of body weight for the protein. Because you gotta have building blocks. So the fasting, you don't necessarily get all those protein building blocks. So that's the you know what I mean, that's the purpose of it. So I tell people you can eat and still lose weight and still put on muscle. That's the thing about it. When you drop the weight, you wanna keep your lean muscle mass. You know what I mean? Because, like, once we get to a certain age, we ain't putting on no more muscle, so we wanna preserve that which we already got.
So lifting, I seen this little stat. You can tell me if I'm wrong or not. But it was like, if you can squat so many pounds, that means when you're 80, you're gonna be able to twist the bottle cap. Or when you are benching, or not benching, but curling so much, you can afford to tie your shoe when you're 75.
Yeah, and I
Is
like that. I like that.
is
I
it
think it's
something that
some truth
correlate?
to it. Yeah, I think it's some good truth to it. I like the way it's set up. Yeah, it's a definitely good truth because it's telling you basically, you know what I mean, how you take care of yourself. If you 40, how you did in the 30s is gonna show in your 40s. And then when you get in your 50s, how you took care of yourself in the 40s, it's gonna show the end result of it. Because they're basically saying keep moving, stay healthy, you could do it, you know what I mean? But you gotta do the little small little things. It's
Look,
the
I want.
small things done over and over.
Ooh, say it again.
It's the small things done over and over correctly.
Small things done over and over. So it ain't no microwave success
No,
to a nice
no.
body.
Nah, definitely ain't no microwave. Ain't no microwave deal. If you do, you're gonna get a microwave body. It's gonna be temporarily.
Look, is there a pill for muscles? Like,
Yeah, they got pills for muscles, but I don't know how good they're gonna be for your health. You know what I mean? They got pills for muscles and pills for weight loss, but it's still gonna come to the end of the day, you know what I mean, your lifestyle. You know what I mean?
with
So, and like I said, I don't knock them one way or another because I think there's a lot of good to it. But I think still with you taking care of your body, it still needs to be like strength training, still needs to be some kind of, you know what I mean, core, whether it be yoga, Pilates, whatever. I just think all those good things achieve you to your best possible physique or whatever level you're trying to be at health
yeah,
wise.
yeah. See, it's one of the things that I really love individuals who go into the gym. I love individuals who go into the gym, and I wrote a blog about it when I was doing my blogging from thoughts from him, because you see very successful individuals. While I'm saying this, just in general across the board, and you hit on it just now, being consistent in your approach. When you see individuals that be in the gym for a year, 2, 5, 10 years, I think that's the biggest form of self-love and care. But also, they had to feel a change before they saw a change. And they had to go in there and consistently do something that they's like, you know what? I know one day I'm gonna have what I want. I know one day I'm gonna feel like I want. But they have to start going in there first, intentionally, consistently, and then they gotta say, "You know what? This is hard. I'm gonna push through failure. I'm gonna keep going." And so that's what I see when I see you. That's what I see when I see other individuals, female or male, individuals with a fit, toned body, because it's like, well, I love myself enough to say no to the food or eat the appropriate food for my body type.
Balance, yeah. Cause I balance too. So let's don't get it twisted as far as like that too. I think life is having about a balance because a lot of times people think, because even I tell a lot of my clients, you're gonna have balance. Like, Mr. Results, I love cheeseburger, French fries, and Reese cups. I'm gonna have those. I'm not gonna eat them every day, but if
Good to
I
hear.
do want to have that, I am gonna have that. Cause I just tell people if you eating, 80, 75, 80% clean during the week, you can relax a little bit. You know what I mean? You're still gonna be able to achieve your goals, but if you cheating during the week and the weekend, you kind of feel like a treadmill if you're trying to get to your results. So, fitness is just having structure and consistency, sure level. because what your level is going to be different from anybody else's. That's why I always tell people it's always good to invest in a pro or coach, because this is what makes us different and why it's useful, because like this is what we do for a living. It's like you go to a dentist, you're going to a dentist because they know how to fix your teeth. It's the same thing with the gym. We got these videos and stuff, which I don't knock, but what better person that's living this, that looks like this, to coach you to your goals is a professional or a pro coach like myself.
Look, I want to piggyback off what you just said. How does one? It's like, man, I'm gonna do it. It's well, quote unquote, the New Year resolutionist, or when it's like, you know what, I'm ready to get into the fitness. I want to help. How does a newbie spot the fakes and phonies? Because there's so many health gurus that's on social media, Instagram, TikTok. You click on one, it's like,
Yeah,
man,
right. Yeah.
I'm fitness, but how does one look through and sift through
I
and see
mean,
what?
me personally, I can look at their workout, I can look at their form. I just think that those that's gifted with it, we just see it. We just see the truth for what it is. Truth is undefeated. So in fitness, I'm just able to see, you know what I mean, see that truth. You know what I mean? I ain't knocking it. We got the era where a lot of people get enhancements to their body and they
Mhm.
act like they worked out to achieve it instead of just telling people the truth, which I don't knock, but at least be truthful about it, how you achieved it or whatever. And then that way people will know, you know what I mean? So if they want to go that route, but don't give unrealistic expectation when it's something that you haven't actually went through. You know what I mean? Just like my workouts and stuff, I don't get my clients to do a workout that I want to do myself. They're never gonna be a guinea pig. If I tell them to push the prowler, I don't push the prowler. You know what I mean? If I tell them to do 30 minutes of stairmaster, I don't got the stairmaster for 30 minutes. So I think part of this is just leading by example too.
Well, so and you mentioned about the balance and when you're eating, does your body have to learn your daily routine, your workout, how many calories you burn? Is it like muscle memory? So I like you said, you can probably eat a burger every other day. If I eat a burger twice a week, I'm working out, I might look totally different to you. Is it only that your body has to learn you in a sense as your dietary supplement before you? 'Cause I see guys and gals. It's like this is my cheat meal, and they cheat meal is like a whole table full of food,
Right.
but they
Yeah.
look
But
good, six pack
yeah,
abs.
because everybody metabolism is different too. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And then they done mastered understanding their body too. So I think that comes a big portion. But then some people got health stuff. So you know what I mean? That's why it's a body. It's complicated because like what I eat might not necessarily work for you. So we have to like learn your body. So that's why I say being with a professional, we able to help you learn your body, because like the workout that worked for, you know what I mean, this person might necessarily work for you. You might have a back problem and all that kind of stuff. And then
Mm,
this person eats differently. And then this person might be a vegetarian, or this person might be allergic to different stuff. So
yeah.
with the fitness stuff, you have to learn how to tailor it to you and your lifestyle, because we all individual vehicles. So it's no one set way plan that's going to work for everybody. So it's just learning your body on an individual basis.
Look, let's switch gears just a little bit. You already talked about this is your labor of love. You love what you do. How do you find time to train your clients and run a gym and also train for competitions? Yes, y'all, he competes. How do you find that balance?
Well, the way I find time to actually train for myself, because like I feel like, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but I feel like I have to pour into myself to be able to help somebody else. You know what I mean? So I feel like that time that I'm setting aside for myself is pouring to myself, so that way I could be a better motivator for my clients or my friends and my people or whatever. So typically, I start the morning training myself first, and then after I pour into myself, then I go into working with my clients. So, usually it's my wife, me and her start out first. Everybody knows like my non-negotiable. So usually her and I, we train first, and then I start my day from there. You know what I mean? So it's just that's how I do it. And then I just, it's consistency. So I have to block out that time. You know what I mean? Everybody got the same 24 hours. It's just a matter of how you use it. And I think people use it on what they believe in and what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? So that's how I think I'm able to do it. But I just try to show my clients, I'm leading by example. Like I got days where I don't feel like working out, but I still go get it in.
Yeah.
I got days I don't feel like getting on the stairmaster. I'm human, you know what I mean? So So I'm not no different, but it's just a mind state. The mind is everything. That's why I tell everybody, love your mind. Loving your mind is loving yourself, you know what I mean? And loving to get yourself to the next level. And at the end of the day, all you gotta do is do 1% better. You know what I mean? You do 1% better each day, then that's all you can ask for. You're improving daily.
Look, I like that. I always tell individuals for long-term health in your relationship, your spouse, they may not have to love what you do all the time, but they got to be somewhat a part of it. With you saying that your wife gets up and works out with you, I think that is one of the best forms of unity. Because me and
Right,
my wife, we work out together as well, but
right.
we work out like in the evening. Like right after
Yeah,
this, we're gonna be going on a walk,
right.
and then we get in some workout and stuff tomorrow. But how did you guys garner that type of schedule? For you, what was it like? Hey, I'm a workout fiend. We got to do this. How did you? Cause I know a lot of individuals say, yeah, my spouse don't work out. I work out, or yeah, my wife don't work out. Yeah, but me and my wife, we work out, and because we got busy lives, but we work out, and we was
Right,
like,
yeah.
we getting
I
fit
think we
together. How did
just
you do?
found that, you know what I mean? We just found that balance, you know what I mean? Just like she understands that she has one body, she has to take care of it. I understand I have one body and I need to take care of it. And I think it's like a mutual mental, you know what I mean, understand. So, and then me, I work out more often than most people. Then she understands that's like my, you know what I mean, that's my balance. Everybody got they stuff they do. You know what I mean? Some people
Correct.
might play golf.
Correct.
That's what I do. I work out. You know what I mean? So I know how she likes to work out. So I meet her level where she likes to work out and how she likes to train. So I think it's just having just a balance. It's just having a balance. It ain't no secret formula. It's just finding your balance with, you know what I mean, the person that you're sharing life with.
I love it. I love it. What's one of the biggest myths individuals come into the gym with? Like, what is something that you hear, or a big myth about when they work out or trying to build muscle or stand fit
Oh,
or
they say
stand
they
lean?
they say they wanna put on muscle and cut up at the same time.
Okay, talk to me. What is the process behind it?
Yeah,
I've
so I
heard it a
mean,
lot.
so you ain't cutting up and building muscle at the same time. You gotta do either or, you know what I mean? So either you gotta cut the fat down first and then build up muscle, but you're not doing both at the same time.
Man, look. So that's a huge misconception.
Yeah, yeah, huge misconception. Yeah,
Bro, so is that what it mean when they say, "I'm in my bulking phase right now"? Is
yeah,
that what
yeah.
that
Well, in
means?
their bogus phase, I would say they're in their lazy phase because they're giving themselves to eat crazy calories. You know what I mean? That's what I call it. You know what I mean? I used to say I'm bulking for competition and I had to do twice as much cardio. You know what I mean? I went in my bogus phase, but now I'm doing 90 minutes of cardio when I could just maintain and do less cardio because it's all about balance and maintaining. Yeah, the bulking stage is getting yourself an excuse to put on more calories. And don't get me wrong, for bodybuilding and stuff to that level, if that's what you into, but for everyday other people, I just don't think you need a bulking stage. You know what I mean? If that's what you do for your sport or whatever, then I can see you trying to bulk. But I just think like fitness is just a balance. You know what I mean? I think it's a way of give people a idea to shove more calories down there for whatever reason it is. You know what I mean? If that's what you enjoy, that's what you enjoy at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm always in the maintenance stage. No more bulking because it's just more work I got to do, more fat I got to get down because once you bulk, you got to take that fat back down, and then once you take that fat down, it's only gonna be so much muscle you're gonna have up under that anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah, it ain't gonna like it's gonna be put on 20 or 30 pounds of muscle. If you got like 2 to 5 pounds of muscle after that, you know what I mean, 6 7 months, you consider yourself doing good.
What is your daily caloric intake?
Honestly, I don't even
You don't
count
track it.
calories. I just do balance. You know what I mean? As far as like that. I'm big on protein. So, you know what I mean? Usually my ratio is gonna be at least 40% protein. Then I'm gonna do carbs. It depends on what season I'm in. Like if I'm in competition season, my carbs are lower. You know what I mean? As far as like that and my fats, but I'm always in 100% ratio. So I'm usually like 40, 30, 30, you know what I mean? Or a lot of times 40, 40, you know what I mean? Or 20. It just depends on what stage of my life in and what I'm trying to achieve. And that's where you start to mess with the calories. And then that's like, but my calories is pretty much I'm above like 2,500 most of the time.
Okay,
When I'm on,
okay.
yeah, yeah. When I'm in a diet stage, I just don't. Me personally, I think what I mean. Everybody should be at least 1,500, 1,600 calories. You know what I mean, or whatever. But even when I'm in another diet stage, or getting ready for a show, which is more intense, it's more stuff you take on your body, which is not sustainable for a lifetime. You know what I mean? It's just I do stuff that I would suggest people doing lifelong or year long. Cause you're just trying to get in shape. Yeah, you're just trying to get in shape for stage ready, you know what I mean, as far as like that. So it's illusion for the stage for, what I mean, those 2 minutes that you're on stage. After that, your body returns to back what it was.
Boy, I can have a whole daggone episode on just what you just now said because which I got so much else I gotta ask you, man. But I
Yeah, yeah,
that is magic how those guys and gals be
yeah,
transforming their body for those shows,
yeah.
how they eat, how they
Yeah,
maintain,
they're
how
working
they
out.
eat.
Yeah, you need sleep. Yeah. And people don't realize for those shows too, not to cut you off, is like cheat meals is eating Chipotle. That's a cheat meal in the bodybuilding world. You know what I mean? Even though everybody else think that's healthy, or a cheat meal is going to a restaurant and getting a plain steak. That's a cheat meal. Cause like if you ain't cooking it in the bodybuilding world, that's a cheat meal. All your food for that type of lifestyle, you prepping yourself. You cooking yourself because then you know everything that's in it. You know about the ingredients and everything. Because when you buying it from, that's why a lot of times people they trying to go on a diet. When you get it from the restaurants and stuff, you don't know what's in it. So it's hard for you to keep up with the calories and the sodium stuff. But when you're cooking it yourself, you know exactly what's in it, and that's how it's able to transform your body.
So do you subscribe or believe in you don't eat because it's good, you eat to fuel your body?
Yeah, I definitely eat. I like it because it feel good too, but you definitely eat to fuel your body according to your goals. You know what I mean? If you
Okay.
trying to lose weight,
Mhm.
sometimes it ain't about, you know what I mean, the taste to a lot of sense. It's about just finding that balance so you could lose that weight. Because what you're doing now is just temporary. It ain't lifelong. So what you sacrificing then is just for you help you achieve your goal. And then you go into your balance stage once you achieve your goal.
Boy, look, let me ask you another question. What is one of the biggest mental traps that you see when people come in and they start their fitness programs? Like, man, I'm tired now. I'm gonna just step out on it. What is one of the biggest things, mental traps that you see that they impose on themselves when they come into the gym?
They just put limitations on themselves.
Mm,
Because I mean, the mind can do anything that you train it to do. So a lot of times they put, well, I don't know if I can eat like that every day. I get bored of the food. You know what I mean? So there's already limitations there already. So you kind of like remove those limitations and let your mind do what your mind's gonna do. Because we know your mind's gonna do what you feed it. If you feed it positive and say it could do it, it's gonna do it. You know what I mean? If you tell it it can't do it, then that's what it's gonna do. It's not gonna be able to do it.
wow. And then how would you approach when somebody hits that mental wall or that mental trap of man, I missed the workout yesterday,
Yeah,
or I ate bad, when I should have been
yeah,
eating good. And
but
that's
but
going
everybody does. I tell them that's human. Let's
okay.
pick up tomorrow where we left off at, because then tomorrow is another day to improve on that mistake that you made. So now it'd be different if we stay there. Now if we ate bad Monday and then you ate bad Tuesday and then Wednesday you still eating bad, you ain't trying to change. So if you're trying to change, you're gonna adjust that because everybody does it. You know what I mean? It's all a part of life. Everybody's gonna make a mistake like that. Everybody's gonna be, hey, I needed some chocolate, I ate a piece of cake or whatever. You know what I mean? That's part of life, this natural way of life. Even the trainer, you know what I mean? I want a Reese cup. I need a Reese cup. You know what I mean? So it's just balance. You know what I mean?
See, look, you hit it. If I end up doing dirt when I'm saying I'm doing good, I'm like, man, I'm getting a Reese cup or a payday because it got some protein in it.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that a misconception?
It's definitely got some protein in it for sure. Some good protein.
Look, what are some like non-negotiables that we should do? 1 to 2 non-negotiables that you see that every person walking this earth for their health should possibly do every day in the fitness.
Non-negotiable, I feel that everybody should get in water. You know what I mean? At least half of their body weight. I
I'm already
feel
guessing.
me personally, other than when a person fasting, which I think is a lot of great properties of fasting, but I think that people shouldn't skip breakfast. You know what I mean? It's breakfast because you're breaking your fast. Your breakfast is how you speed your metabolism up. So I just think it's just a lot of good qualities as far as like breakfast. And then a lot of times when we skip breakfast, by the time the end of that day, you're trying to catch up from that meal that you missed. So that's why people eat so much at nighttime, because they done skip that most important meal. So it's like food, it's like fuel, you know what I mean? So I just feel like breakfast is just key. You know what I mean? It's just
Mhm.
key to jumpstart your day. And it's breakfast, it's break your fast, you know what I mean? So it signals to your body, okay, let's get this thing going, let's get this party going as far as like that.
So with them saying abs are made in the kitchen, ratio percentage wise, do you think abs are created? Is it 80/20, 95
Yeah,
5?
yeah, definitely 80/20. Because I hardly do any crunches. I got abs. I keep abs all year round. I might
Okay,
do
that's what I'm
abs.
asking you. How do you do that? Is it is it what you eat?
Yeah, it's definitely what you eat. That's what I'm saying. It's just having a balance of what you eat. That's why I tell people it ain't no secret sauce. The only thing that separates me from somebody else is I got more discipline on the foods I put in my mouth. That's it. It's just like a successful person. The only difference is they got a structure. They got a game plan. It's the same thing with your body. You just gotta have a structure and a game plan of what you're gonna do and just be consistent. Because at the end of the day, I tell people this health stuff is a marathon, it ain't a sprint.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's how you're gonna be able to sustain what you're trying to do.
Look, when because you busy now, you busy, your wife busy, and ladies and gentlemen, I know he don't look like it, but he got kids. He
Yeah.
ain't got the dad
It's
bod going,
five.
but he
Yeah,
got
we
kids.
five deep. Yeah.
How do you those late nights, how do you go about navigating what places to eat or, when you got competitions and stuff, how do you navigate where you wanna eat at, on the
Well, to
weekend?
be honest, like usually every week I prep my food. So I eat on repeat. So I think if you prepare it ahead of time, because like once you get hungry at nighttime, you look for what else open. So that's what that comes into play.
Right.
So I just think if you prepare your food once, twice a week, it helps to keep you on track. I think it's almost nearly impossible for you to stay on track without either A, you prepping your food or you paying somebody that's good at prepping your food. Cause that's how you're gonna stay on track. Cause then you got it. Yeah, cause you got it at hand. So like me, I bring my lunch, I bring at least 3 or 4 meals. So anytime I come to work each week, I'm gonna bring 10 to 15 meals so I can just go in the refrigerator and warm them up. So that kind of help keeps me on track. Cause
Preparation.
it's like when I get done with you, I'm gonna go prep, you know what I mean, prep some food for this week.
Mm, you know
Some
what
more
was
food.
funny? I'm about to do that same thing after my walk today. Yeah, I'm gonna do that same thing. Not like all jokes aside, because me and my wife we do prep. We prep ourselves too, but it could be some of those times on the weekend. Well, the question: what about alcohol? What do you think about
I
the
mean, alcohol, it's got a lot of fat calories, you know what I mean? So I tell people 1 glass of wine is like 14 minutes of cardio. So you know what I mean? You choose your poison. You know what I mean? One beer is like 21 minutes of cardio. So I mean, you can have those things, but that's the amount of cardio you do. You know, you take a shot, it's just, you know what I mean, it's a consequence to it or whatever. I
I
don't think,
love that.
yeah.
What did you? How did you say that, man? Say it again. One wine is what?
One wine is like it's like 14 minutes of cardio. So you kind of like it gives you the numbers of how much you got to burn the calories off. You start thinking about it like that. You're like, man, I had 6 beers. I got to do 60 minutes. You know what I mean? 70 minutes for those 6 beers. It started to be like, you know what I mean? So it don't add up. But if you got a goal, you know what I mean, you're just gonna balance it. You know what I mean? And then that's
Boy,
why some people do. That's
you
why
hit on
anything on
those.
life, you know what I mean, do it in moderation. You know what I mean? It's no knock the other. You know what I mean? I go out of town. I
Yeah,
might have a drink or whatever. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But like I said, that's not gonna be my lifestyle every day.
But you hit on that because I equate that to money or I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give an analogy. Is when I try to get my boys to understand this because they got jobs now. If they want to purchase something, I tell them equate that with time. How much time are you gonna have to work
Yeah,
in order to make that purchase? Like how
exactly.
much time? So what you just now said hit home big time, but just in the
Yeah,
health world, man. Yeah,
right.
because it's like I might look at that donut a little different now, but I mean,
Yeah, just look at it, make it let the drink. I ain't saying don't have it, none of that stuff you like, because I don't feel like at the end of the day anybody should pride themselves for anything, but just having just balance. It's all about balance, like your bank account. You know what I mean? You want
yeah.
that thing negative, you know what I mean? You want to have some balance, you know what I mean? So it's the same thing with your healthy lifestyle. You just find your balance. What you comfortable with, that's where you balance it at. You
So
balance according to your goals.
how do you govern your children and what they eat? Do you like the house is gonna eat this way? Or do you go back to when you were younger or whatnot? Like, well, I did have this when I was little.
Yeah,
How
that's
do
what I
you
try to do.
find balance with it?
Yeah, I let them like some of the stuff they like, I don't agree upon, but I think being young like that, we tell them some healthy choices, but I kind of just let them just try to find the balance themselves. Like I don't try to be so restricted, but they know if I cook, they know how plain it's gonna be or whatever. And then, you know what I mean? Sometimes they're hungry enough, they gonna eat it. And then sometimes like, nah, we ain't doing that. Can you do a dash me or whatever? You know what I mean? Especially this generation or whatever. But yeah, I don't try to deprive them because I like that stuff growing up too. And I,
Correct.
I think even though it ain't the same, you know what I mean, as it is now, but I
Correct.
think they need that, you know what I mean? It's just this is needed,
Man, look,
especially
look.
when being so young.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually good to hear because I know I used to wrestle with that with my boys. Like, man, hey, because I got the boys that are athletes and they playing ball,
Yeah,
and they got to gain weight, but they got to maintain weight and
right.
also be strong. So, but I'm like, hey, y'all gotta their caloric intake. We're trying to really keep that up,
Yeah, because they
especially
fast.
in
You tap
offense
them so
because they
fast.
lose a lot. And so,
Yeah,
we used to pack meals like in the little portable warmer or heater or whatever for my
right,
son to take to school because he needed to pack on that
right,
the good weight, not the bad weight,
right.
but,
Yeah, right.
it was
That's
some
smart
stuff,
how you
so I
doing it.
always wrestled with that, how do you balance with having a physique like you do, and, "Hey, I know y'all want that spaghetti tonight, but I gotta do that rice and
Yeah, I
kale."
gotta stick to it. I gotta stick to the script. Yeah, it's discipline. It definitely a discipline. It's a mind state. When we know you are what you eat, so it's definitely
Yeah.
definitely a mind state.
Yeah. Look, let's talk about the gym. So you were talking about you had that love for, training individuals. How did you like, "You know what? I worked at a gym. I'm gonna get me a gym started. I'm gonna start a gym." What was your first steps to be like, "You know what? I'm about to take this thing on my own. I know what I need to do. I know I got the love for it like nobody else."
Yeah, my first step was just decide to take the risk. You know what I mean? I didn't when I took the risk, I ain't had no plan B. My steps was gonna be plan A. It wasn't gonna be if it didn't work, it was gonna be it's gonna work. Imma figure
Mhm.
out a way how to make it work is what I did, as far as like that. So it wasn't like a plan B. I believed in my skill, I believe in what I could do, and I figured, what I mean, the rest will follow, you know what I mean? And just like even when I started to, yourself, you start a business, your friends and stuff say they're gonna follow you, but them ain't gonna be your best customers. There's no disrespect to the friends and family, but your customers are gonna be the strangers you never met.
Correct.
That's gonna be your customer 90 or 80% of the time. So with that, it just said you got to believe in what you're doing, be confident in it. And that's what I was. I knew I was a great trainer. If I ain't know nothing else, and at that time I ain't had nothing but some dumbbells. And I knew I could train somebody their whole body with just dumbbells. Yeah, which I share with you too. I got like before and after pictures of that stuff too. But
Yes, I did. I did. I
yeah,
only did dumbbells. That's what I did. I
yeah,
tried to
yeah.
tell
But
people.
you gotta start at the bottom. You know what I mean? Everybody starts at the bottom, even with their fitness goals, even it's just with a business. You starting at the bottom. You know what I mean? So and it's been like a trial and error. Some stuff I wish I would have caught on now. I mean then that I learned now. So it's a curve, it's a learning curve, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing in it with as far as like that. But the good part about what I had then was I was already doing sales. I was already meeting
Mm.
new people and stuff. It's just that with that side of the gym, they want me to do more sales and I want to train. You know what I mean? If I want to do sales, I'll be a car salesman or sell houses or something. If I want to do sales, I'm gonna do something a little bit more. But I want to actually help people as far as like their fitness goes. So
Wow, so you
that's
had
what I that's what I focus
no
on.
plan B. You like, I'm all in. This
Yeah.
is what I like.
Oh
I'm
man, yeah.
trapping this out.
At first I was a little bit hesitant because I was on a salary. Cause even when I stepped away, I was on a salary. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, I like, you could do it. You know what I mean? I had to keep on telling you had those self-talks with yourself. You be like, you could do it. And I had those times I've been deep in the mud. I'm like, man, what did you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just feel like if it's, you know what I mean, I learned from the greatest, you know what I mean? It's the manifestation. What those thoughts you put in, that's what's gonna happen. So if you think it ain't gonna work, nine times it
Yeah.
ain't gonna work. But if you
Yeah.
believe and pray it's gonna work, then it's gonna work.
But that's what they say, man. Salary is one of the biggest drugs one can have in comfort.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So when I had it, you know what I mean, which was good for me, which was nice, and I was like, okay, but I knew I could do more. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, it's
Yeah.
time for the next step. You know what I mean, as
Yeah.
far as like that.
Man, Kelvin. Woo. See, what I'm talking about. It ain't just working out. You got to become something to be able to push through in the gym, but
Right.
you got to become something to push through in life, and that's what
And you
you
got to be
found.
resilient. You know what I mean? You got to be resilient on your pursuit to do what that is that you said you want to achieve. And everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody's gonna take their losses. Everybody gonna have their trials and error. It's not gonna be a perfect path. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be a perfect time. You know what I mean? The time is now when you feel like it's the time. You know what I mean? Waiting for the perfect time of the moment. It sometimes just don't happen. You just gotta just get started. It's the same thing with your fitness goal. I tell people it's just getting started. Don't wait till New Year's resolution when
Mhm.
you got in your mind. That's
Uh-huh.
why usually, believe it or not, for me, my busiest time not January. It's usually February, March.
Mm.
That's when my busiest time is.
Talk to
Cause
me,
and I
man.
actually like those people better because they're gonna be more consistent. Cause they finally made up their mind because like fitness is a thing. Like once you make up your mind you're gonna do it, that's what you're gonna do. I could tell you all the come on and do it and all that kind of stuff until you put into your head you're gonna do it. That's the only way that you're gonna do it.
You're right, because that person got to want to change. You can lead them to water,
Yeah,
but you can't
that's
make
it.
them drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, boy, look, and you mentioned this. You gotta have stepping stones. What do you say? I know you have a gym, and I know you've been in that lane for a very long time. But what do you say to the individual? It's like, I really do want to work out, but I don't have the money to go to the gym. I don't have the money to buy some equipment. What do you tell the individual they got to do it at home?
I mean, you gotta start somewhere. You know what I mean? You could buy and start with a pair of dumbbells because even when I ain't had no equipment, that much equipment either. You just get a little by little. You know what I mean? What you can afford. And then the sacrifices stuff. Maybe that meal that you're gonna eat 2 or 3 meals out at Chick-fil-A, you take that money and put it aside for something else. And because if you cook, you know what I mean, you're gonna save more money anyway. If you cook those meals, because the average meal is $20 by the time you come out of the restaurant, something fast food, it's $15 to $20. So you could put away some bread, and then if you're doing $20 3 times a day, you at 60 times seven, you know what I mean? You at, you like $420 a week with no problem. I've just, you know what I mean? We can get a lot of groceries, even though the price of groceries is up now, but you can get a lot of groceries for $420, you know what I mean? So
That makes sense.
yeah,
That makes sense. I had a financial expert on, and I asked him a question on what is one of the biggest hurdles to get people to invest. And he said a lot of people think they ain't got the money,
yeah. It's some
but
stuff you gotta, yeah, some stuff that's not that important, you gotta kind of like sacrifice.
priorities.
Yeah. What you feel is important, that's what you're gonna spend your money on. If you feel it's important to spend your money on getting healthy foods and eat healthier, you're gonna find a way for it. We find a way for them outfits and them J's and all that kind of stuff. That bar or getting that table, you know what I mean? You can find money for the stuff. That Starbucks, the $8 cup of coffee,
Yeah.
$10 cup of coffee, you can find it. It's
Yeah.
there.
Look, what was one of your biggest hurdles when you started your gym? Was it just the mental hurdle? Was it the financial hurdle? Was it just getting people to buy in? What was your biggest hurdle when you started your gym?
Definitely financial, you know what I mean? Cause it's just but that's what with most, especially when you're new, you know what I mean, you're looking for funding. And I just learned that you just grow into it. You just do what you can. And then as you
Mhm.
grow, I think other doors open up. Even starting out, I think I could have did better with saving. You gotta learn how to save better and you just gotta make better business decisions, which I make all, you know what I mean, all the best at sometimes. So you gotta do better. It's just gotta do better decisions as far as like what you do with your business. And then understand that there's some people that might know a little bit more about helping you structure your business. And that's kind of like some of the clues you want to take that which I didn't take at the, you know what I mean, the younger me. I just figured I would just wing it. But it's systems operations, you know what I mean? So that's what I learned. I'm still learning now, which I wish I would have learned like way back then.
Well, what you talking about? Look, and with that, I think it's gonna be a good time for me to go into my final three questions with Ken. Are you ready for these?
Yeah, always ready.
Let's get to it, man. What is something you know now that would have saved you years of work?
Not trying to be a one man band.
Mm.
Like trying to do everything on your own. Cause you want to delegate it, you know what I mean? Cause it's people that's better than you in certain stuff, and that's what you want to do, cause it kind of frees up your time too. So like now, that's what I'm trying to do. A lot of times, with a business, we so busy working in the business that we won't get to work on the business. So that's what I'm going through my pains of now working on the business instead of working in the business all the time. So that would definitely be one of mine for sure.
Wow. Boy, that's a big one, man. Because I think a lot of people's like, man, this is mine. I want to do this myself. This is my
Yeah.
vision. This is my dream.
Now
But
you're only
then
gonna be as big as your team. You're gonna build your team up, and you're gonna be a lot better. Like me, I'm one of the ones, I don't gotta be the one to have a jet. I want my whole team to have a jet. That's why I know where I'm at. So that's what my level of thinking is at. You know what I mean? So I don't gotta be have that's all of us have a jet. You know what I mean?
when what I just got out of that, you ain't you competing versus you, and it's enough in this world for everybody
Yeah,
to
for
go
everybody.
around.
Everybody. The happy they are, the happy I am, all of us could be happy. All of us could play in the sandbox together.
But look, that's I'm gonna tell you this. That's why you successful. That's why you successful in your life because you really want to see people win. Not only helping them win in your gym, but you
Right,
want to see them succeed themselves.
right.
And I say the same thing. That's the reason why I'm doing this show. I want
Yeah,
everybody around me to win. Even when I
yeah.
was doing photography, people like, man, I'm gonna give them my clients. Hey, hey, isn't if
Yeah.
it's for them,
Everybody
it's for
deserves to be
them.
happy. Yeah. Everybody deserves to win. You
Everybody
just gotta
deserve to
just want
win.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Boy,
Everybody deserves to win.
Kelvin, I love it, man. Next question. Can you share a failure that in hindsight was the turning point to your success?
Oh yeah. I didn't secure financially, and I use like credit cards to
Yeah.
do stuff when you
Uh-huh.
should secure your funds before you do it. You should have a strategy as far as like that, and you should have a budget and don't try to wing it. So that's what I was trying to wing it and not have a budget and then not have a strategy. So that would definitely be key. And you got to stay within your realm because like we think big, but if your money ain't big, you can't be doing that big stuff. You got to staircase up to it. And that's what everybody does. You got to grow into that what it is.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, you said a lot. So to those individuals that's working on a job and say, man, we just threw caution to the wind and we sold a house and we got a second mortgage and we just used all the credit cards that we have. I ain't saying that they ain't successful in it. I'm not saying they're successful in it, but I'm very much like you. I got to step my way up to that point.
Yeah,
Or I
little by
had to
little.
step
That's
my
all it
way
is.
up to that point. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. That's good stuff right there, man. And then the last question is, what is the most rewarding part of transforming other clients' life? And conversely, what is the hardest part about being a fitness coach?
The fitness coach, I think the hardest part is you always got to be on. They can immediately tell when you ain't on. What's wrong with you? Is everything okay? And a lot of times it might not be okay. I just might be in a deep throat. So I think with fitness, you always got to be on because like people looking for you for motivation. That's why they're around you. Motivation, they're around you for your energy and then that aspect of things. So you got to be on most of the time, 90-something% of the time. Or don't, you know what I mean? They can automatically sense it because they come to you for that source, the energy source to motivate them, to get them up, you know what I mean? The energy they need that they feel that they're missing. So it's a relationship, you know what I mean? It's bigger than the training, you know what I mean? It's a mental connection and it's the relationship that you have with them. That's why I tell a lot of my training people shouldn't just be coming in and out of the door. You should have a relationship with them. Like I check on my clients. That's what separate make me different. I text them. I tell them if they struggling, text me because I can't keep up with everybody when they struggling. But if you text me, I'm gonna get you back up. Just don't disappear. If you text me and let me know what's going on, that's why I tell people I'm trying to be a Chick-fil-A personal trainer. I want
What?
everybody to have a good experience. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing. You go to Chick-fil-A, you're gonna have a good experience. No matter which Chick-fil-A you gonna go to, you're gonna have the good. And that's why I tell them I'm trying to be a Chick-fil-A personal trainer. You're gonna have a good experience with me and my team is what my goal is. Right?
Man, I love it. You said you could be the Chick-fil-A, a
Yeah,
personal
personal
trainer.
trainer. Yeah, you're gonna have a good experience. You're gonna have a great experience. That's the thing. You know, it's customer service. People feeling appreciated, needed, and respected. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So that's just my thing.
Wow, Kelvin. Wow.
And I think I
Ladies
might
and
have missed
gentlemen,
part of your question though, because what was that first part of your question?
but the first what was the most rewarding part of your, seeing the client have their breakthrough?
Yeah. I just like when they reach their goals, or when they feeling together, or they're like, hey, Kelvin, I got that blood pressure medicine. Hey, Kelvin, man, I can't believe I climbed that mountain. Like, whatever it's something they just didn't think they would be able to do, that's the port card right there. That's the that's the grand prize of it all. Whether it's, you know what I mean, they got in a dress they ain't worn in years, or they can't believe they did, or I can't believe they came to the gym 2 months straight. Whatever that victory is, because that's what I do, and that's why I teach my team too, is because like I say text your clients and help them celebrate a win because we won some kind of way, whether they drunk their water that week or clothes, they lost weight, or they ate their healthy meals or whatever. It's a win somewhere that week. So we're going to help them find that win. And then those wins keep on adding up. So if you got 52 weeks of wins, you winning. You know what I mean? It's just the small things. You winning.
I hope y'all feel that energy right now, boy, 'cause you're like, "Put me in, coach, put me in."
Yeah. Push you
Look,
in.
I love that, man, 'cause everybody wanna focus on the big things when it's the small things you
Yeah.
do daily
Small
that have
things.
those big
Small,
ramifications in your life.
small, tiny things. I just tell people to not have confidence in yourself is to be twice defeated. That's my favorite, one of my favorite quotes.
I love that, man. What? What? Man, boy, you full of it. You're like, literally, you are full of it, but, like, when you come in, you want that energy. You want that energy. Like, right now, I feel that energy. I feel that you love what you're doing, and then that make me wanna be a part of something. What you said was, celebrating the small victories.
That's it.
Like like,
Because people tell when you're genuine, you know what I mean? People can spot when you genuine like right away. You know what I mean?
wow,
I,
that's
I
big.
need I need my smiles and handshakes to all match. You know what I mean? Everything needs to match. Everything needs to match. The energy needs to match.
Well, look, well, Kelvin, like I said, I'm gonna hold you long today, man, but I do know that this conversation had will help and inspire a lot of people that sit on the stool or do nothing, begin or continue their health and fitness journey. But before I close everything out, where can my viewing audience find you on social, or where can they find your gym?
Okay, well they can find me. I'm located in Spartanburg, South Carolina at 144 Southport Road. I'm Mr. Results with a Z on Instagram or TikTok. And for those that's just trying to find me by email, the1gym sc@gmail.com. And that's THEONE, gym sc@gmail.com. Love to help people. Love to meet you at whatever level that you might be at. Health is wealth. You know what I mean? You only got one body, and I just feel like everybody should take care of it well. You only got one body and one life.
Wow. I'm gonna make sure everybody had it below. I'm gonna make sure everybody get in contact with you, man.
Yeah, I could
Because I
definitely appreciate it. Like I said, it's been a blessing to be able to share this with you, to share this with other people. Maybe we do a part two where they can hear the story behind it. It's other parts to it to let everybody know. Everybody don't start. You know, people always see the end
Henry,
of it, but they don't see the beginning. You know what I mean? They seen the what I look like now, you know what I mean? But they see like when I had the weight on me. You know what I mean? So
yo,
I think it's important for people to see the beginning journey because that's what, the social media does. It shows the end result, but you don't never see what it took to get there. You know what I mean? So you gotta see what was at the beginning of it before you got to the finish line.
boy, I think me and you gotta set up an appointment then. I
Yeah,
think
just
I,
gotta
I
do
I
it.
think it's a lot of validity and I think it's a lot of truth what you just now said. Because people
Yeah.
gotta fall in love with the process before they can see the end
That's it.
result.
Yeah. It ain't gonna be easy because it was easy, everybody would do it.
Hey, you what you talking about. Yeah, yeah. All right. All right. Hey, Kevin, I'm about to catch up with you, man. I'm
Yeah,
about to
you
catch up.
you are you definitely there. Like I said, it was a blessing. You know what I mean? I really appreciate the opportunity to be a part of your movement. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? To create this type of energy, to be in type of this space. This is my actual first podcast. You know what I mean? I was nervous, like, oh man, what I'm gonna say.
I told
So,
you,
you
I
know what I
told
mean?
you it's just
So
love, man. It's just
yeah,
love.
yeah.
It's
I try to get so excited and slow down my speaking besides that, but it's just like a blessing, you know what I mean? So they say just get better with time.
yeah, man, real recognize real. You authentically a professional in what you do, and me, I'm just enjoying seeing people
And
winning.
you're doing great things.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys really listened to and took some of the notes, and then even be inspired enough to go and search out information for yourself, whether it's on YouTube University or on Google. Because I do believe in order to get the best version of yourself, you do have to have your vessel, your physical vessel, be able to get you to that finish line. Not only just your mind, because your mind affects your body affects your mind, and you want to do your best to take care of both. And I do appreciate you guys for tuning in to yet another episode of Talks with Ken. And I want to remind you guys to live in purpose, on purpose, so we can change the community in which we live. All right, until next time, it's your boy Ken. Peace.
Peace.